World record dive disaster. Aussie Daredevil's 42.5-meter dead dive from Waterfall ends in disaster with skull injury, spinal injuries, and near-death ordeal. An Australian thrill seeker's attempt at setting a world record for a death-defying dive went catastrophically wrong, leaving him life-threatening injuries and a long road to recovery. Vali Graham, 21, from Newcastle, New South Wales, attempted the daring feat on June 11 at Minnehaha Falls in the Blue Mountains. Join us as we take a deep dive into this story on the AI podcast.
Okay, picture this. A 21-year-old Australian guy, right? A real thrill seeker. He's standing way up high, top of a waterfall. We're talking the height of a 13-story building.
Yeah, that's 42.5 meters. Huge.
Exactly. And he's not just looking, he's about to jump, attempting something called a death dive.
A world record attempt, actually.
Right, from Minnehaha Falls. But, well, if things didn't exactly go to plan, it went catastrophically wrong. So today in this deep dive, we're going, beyond just the accident itself, the physical side of it. We really want to unpack what drives people to do these extreme things.
With psychology behind it.
Yeah, and that razor-thin line between, amazing success and total disaster, and also touch on how people reacted online, because that was interesting.
Very divided, as you might expect.
And we're pulling all this from a really detailed account called Death Dive Disaster, Peril at Minnehaha Falls.
Because this is a good base to work from.
Definitely. So let's start with the guy himself. Vali Graham, 21, from Newcastle, New South Wales, June 11th, Blue Mountains, Minnehaha Falls. His mission: set a world record for this death dive. And that height, 42.5 meters. I mean, that's way beyond typical diving competitions.
Absolutely. Way beyond. Most regulated high dives top out much lower.
Okay, let's unpack this then. What exactly is deadsing? It sounds pretty intense.
It is. Deadsing literally means death diving. It started in Norway.
No.
And it's less about, say, Olympic diving elegance and more about impact and nerve.
Okay.
So the technique is you launch from somewhere really high, stretched out like a big X in the air, spread eagle, you hold that pose for as long as you possibly can, maximum airtime, maximum exposure.
Right. Holding it.
Then, and this is the crucial part, right before you hit the water, you have to curl up fast into like a tight ball or a pike position. The idea is a big splash, but you need perfect timing to avoid,
to avoid disaster.
Exactly. To minimize the impact force on your body, which is immense from that height.
And I imagine doing this off a waterfall, a natural ledge, adds a whole other layer of risk compared to a platform.
Oh, massively. Unregulated natural settings mean unpredictable water depth, currents, hidden rocks, no safety standards. It's pure risk assessment by the individual.
So Vali Graham's up there. He's prepping mentally, launches, does this acrobatic twist in the air.
Yeah, adding flair, pushing the limits even further.
And then that split-second miscalculation happens. He hits the water wrong, like really wrong, an awkward pike position.
And the impact. It was immediate and devastating.
What exactly happened to him, injury-wise?
The force knocked him out cold, instantly unconscious. He fractured his skull, fractured his T11 vertebra, that's a mid-upper back, burst his eardrum, fractured his sternum too, right in the chest, and a concussion on top of all.
Guys, listing those injuries is intense. How did he even survive that initial impact?
It's borderline miraculous, really.
Yeah.
But crucial to this was his team. He had trained spotters at the bottom, ready for exactly this kind of emergency. They were on him immediately.
Okay, so they got to him quickly.
They did. And here's another incredible part. While he was still in the water, he actually regained consciousness.
Seriously, after all that.
Yeah. And despite, the fractured skull, back, sternum, all of it, he somehow managed to swim towards the edge with their help.
He swam.
With assistance, yes. And then pulled himself onto the bank, onto solid ground.
That level of resilience is hard to comprehend, just functioning after that trauma.
It really is. And it didn't stop there.
What do you mean?
Well, getting him out of there was another ordeal. This wasn't some easy access spot. Showing, just extraordinary resilience. He then trekked, with his team helping, obviously, a steep 1.2 kilometers back to their car.
He walked 1.2 kilometers after those injuries.
Trekked uphill, steep terrain, before they could finally rush him to the hospital.
Unbelievable. And then surgeries, I assume?
Oh, yes. Emergency surgeries on his back and his sternum. Pretty major stuff.
You'd expect someone to be completely laid out, maybe facing permanent damage after something like that.
You absolutely would, which makes his update just days later even more, well, surprising.
He gave an update. What did he say?
Yeah, he posted on social media.
Yeah.
And his tone was surprisingly upbeat, almost positive.
Really? What did the post actually say?
He thanked his followers, thanked his spotters, of course, and then he wrote, and I'm quoting here, "God gives us the gift of suffering."
Wow, okay.
He continued, "After ascending this monster 42.5-meter cliff, I was knocked unconscious, burst my eardrum, and fractured my T11 vertebrae, sternum, and a small fracture on my skull. All love to my spotters."
Calling suffering a gift after that, that's quite a perspective.
It is. And he didn't stop there. He revealed he was actually able to walk just 2 days after the surgery.
2 days after back surgery.
2 days. Said he was feeling mentally amazing and totally committed to rebuilding his strength, coming back even stronger.
Mentally amazing. It's
It's
a mindset, isn't it?
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
He framed the whole horrific experience not as some terrible accident, but as a transformative gift, a challenge he fully intends to overcome.
That kind of reframing, you see that sometimes in extreme athletes, right? Turning adversity into fuel.
Definitely. It speaks to a certain kind of psychological resilience, maybe even a necessity in fields where the risk of catastrophic failure is always present. Failure isn't the end. It's data. It's a chance to prove mental toughness.
It's fascinating, but I can also see how from the outside that perspective could be, well, confronting, or even seem disconnected from the reality of the danger he put himself in.
For sure. It walks a fine line. For many involved in these high-stakes activities, facing and overcoming consequences, even severe self-inflicted ones, becomes part of the narrative, part of the test.
Which brings us to the public reaction, because as you said, it was pretty divided.
Oh, yeah. The online commentary was all over the place.
So what does this all mean? How do people react? On one side, you had a lot of praise. Right?
Absolutely. Lots of people were blown away by his courage, his athleticism, comments like, beyond comprehension how he does that.
Yeah, and things like, he deserves the world record just for the attempt, for the sheer guts it took.
Exactly. Admiration for the discipline and the drive, even though it went wrong.
But then there was the other side, the criticism.
Mm-hmm. And it was pretty blunt. You had comments like, "My taxes have to pay for your dumb choices."
Yeah, implying the cost of rescue and healthcare.
Right. And others were even more direct, like, "God didn't give you that suffering, you did that yourself," rejecting his whole framing of the event.
So a real split between admiration for the individual pushing limits and criticism of the perceived recklessness or burden on society.
Precisely. And this isn't unique to Vali Graham. It taps into that broader tension, doesn't it? Individual freedom versus, communal responsibility, especially when things go wrong in these extreme pursuits.
It really highlights that tension. And his story, especially as death diving gets more popular globally,
Which it is, yeah. Growing quite rapidly.
it serves as such a stark reminder of just how high the stakes are.
Absolutely. That razor-thin line we talked about between an incredible feat and absolute tragedy. It's right there.
So, thinking about all this, Vali Graham's experience really makes you pause. It pushes you to consider, what is that deep human drive, that need for some people to push boundaries so far?
The psychology of extreme risk-taking.
Yeah, and what does it actually mean to see immense suffering, self-inflicted suffering even, as a gift? How does that mindset even work?
It's a powerful, if controversial, way of coping and finding meaning.
And then there's the societal angle. How do we as a community balance respecting individual choices, even risky ones, with the potential public cost? Where's that line?
No easy answers there.
None at all. So maybe the final thought for you, the listener, is this. What does Vali Graham's story really tell us about pushing limits, about human endurance? And maybe, just maybe, about what it means to be truly transformed by facing death, even if you invited the encounter yourself. Something to think about.
Should there be legal restrictions on attempting stunts like dead dives from natural locations? Don't forget to comment it. Thanks.